masks mandates appear to be in the news, like a lightweight discussion. But I'm feeling large, shadowy middle fingers showing up from 300 million Americans as they watch their TV. They're not having it, especially what we're finding out about the ineffectiveness of masks. You're wearing a mask, but the virus could actually touch your skin, or you could touch a doorknob where the virus was just there seconds ago from the other person, and now it's actually on your hand, and that the mask really had a negligible effect at best on transmission. Okay, well, something else. Remember when the airlines, Kellyanne, you remember when the airlines said, "You better wear a mask, and you will only take it down to drink"?
How could I forget? They yelled at me every 2 seconds.
Or they yelled at you, and it sounded like all flight attendants were suddenly German. And with all due respect to our German friends, but what I'm talking about, it feels like a German cop. And by the way, if you're pulled over for a speeding ticket and it's a German cop, just give them your license, registration, and cooperate. Because it makes no sense to try to argue with a very rigid, structured German cop. Well, it almost felt like all flight attendants were speaking German. You will leave your mask up and you will not move from your seat and everything. Well, guess what? We now have the evidence in the chart. Pull this chart up. The chart proves that all those mandates resulted in people getting pissed off. How pissed off? Look at this. This information was not out there in 2022. Now it's been dug up and it's there. Take a look at this. So the FAA in January 2021 introduces zero tolerance policy. You will walk on with a mask. You will keep a mask unless you are sipping your drink or eating something, which is ridiculous. So when you start sipping a drink or eating something, you happen to cough a little bit, you're coughing stuff over everybody, and the masks aren't effective anyway. But look at this. Look what happened. Unruly airline passenger incidents. It pissed us off, America. Look at that. From around 100 to 700, 7x increase in unruly passenger incidents, because it's basically we were pissed off and we had no patience. Now, that doesn't mean you can push a flight attendant. That doesn't mean you can push a fellow passenger or take a swing at them. But when the government is responsible for lighting the fuse on the red-hot emotions of Americans, many of us that were doubting what we were being told masks in the first place, boom, that's what you get. You get passengers going nuts. And then it comes back down as we get sane and the pandemic starts waning because a lot of herd mentality. And now we find out it's less having to do with the vaccines, which may or may not have ever been effective at all. And here we are. Well, they're starting to talk about masks very quietly. And Kellyanne dug something up. Check this out.
USA
This
Today. This just in. USA Today reports of unruly passengers are actually on the rise. It's become more acceptable in the last 5 to 7 years for people to behave angrily and belligerently.
So it's acceptable and expected, and we were triggered by our own government. But I think this is really interesting, and I think it goes to show that basically, I think what they need to do when you get on the airplane and they take off, I think it should be mandatory for everyone to have one drink. One drink. Everybody has a beer. Everybody has one drink. And just chill a little bit and see if we can get back to this collaborative America where we would talk to the person next to us and say, hello, where are you going? You going home? Going for business? I remember those days, and it's starting to come back. But I think we all need to work a little harder on this and don't let our government be the source of triggering that causes us to go off on each other. And see if you can talk people off the ledge who are trying to be the cop in their own right. Oh, don't touch me. Don't sit next to me. Put a mask on. We're not having that. But let's see if we can turn down it and be a little more civil.
I'm voting for Biz Doc.
There we go. I'm hoping. So, now, speaking of it, you do not want to be the goat in your family of airline unruliness and get thrown off a plane, and say, I had the greatest incident of anybody in my family, yay me.